Good evening, all the economic students. Today, I'm excited to announce that we are starting 2025 A level economics theory online class. Right? It's a happy news to you and me because so many students have asked to start a online class, but I was struggling with the time frame. But with your kind request, I'm willing to start a online class today onward, right? So welcome you all to the new economics online class, right? We'll start the session and I'll share all the information about the class afterwards, right? So I hope you all are economic students. Most of you guys are economic students who are sitting the exams in next 2025 year 2025, right? So you came here to study economics. Why? We'll talk it later. Initially, what is economics? What is the scope of economics? Scope of economics. Is there any scope? We didn't study that. Yes, you didn't, because in your syllabus it was mentioned, but most of teachers doesn't know, right? Most of teachers don't know about that. Anyway, there is a scope. What is it? When it comes to scope of the economics, there are main three aspects. First one. First one is wealth. In economics, we study about wealth. Wealth. Most of students are, I know most of you guys were doing your O level, right? In Sinhala medium, and with the trend, you have transit, right? Transfer to English medium, right? So I'll tell English medium and Sinhala medium both, then it will easy to understand for you guys. But mostly it would be English medium because this is an English medium class. But to help you to understand, I'll clarify in Sinhala as well, right? So wealth mean dhanaya. In economics scope of economics, first one is wealth. Second one is we study about human economic behavior, right? So human economic behavior, that is the second one. And third, we study about scarce resources, scarcity. What does mean scarcity? Up to now, scarcity means limitation of resources. Do we have unlimited resources? For some resources, yes, such as sunlight, rainy water, there are unlimited supply. But most of productive resources are limited resources. So we call it scarce resources or scarcity. Scarce resources. So this is the scope of economics. What does mean scope of economics? That is the area we focus in economics, right? So what are the main three areas we are focused on economics? First one is wealth. Second one, human economic behavior. Third one, scarcity. So this is related to scope. Right. Then, what is economics? Now we know the scope. And again, what was the scope? Wealth, human economic behavior, and scarcity. Then economics. Before that, what is human economics behavior? As people, our behavior related to economics can be identified with three activities. There are three activities. What are those three activities? First one, it is production. Or before that, I'll take consumption. As consumers, because we all not are producers, but we are consumers. You guys are consuming so many goods and services throughout the day or month or year, right? So we obviously are consumers. So we can identify one main aspect of human economic behavior is consumption. To consume something, right? To consume something, we need to produce something. Without production, would we able to consume? No. Then another aspect is production, because there should be production before consumption. Production is done by business firms, goods and service, right? Consumption is mostly done by us. We are the proud consumers, right? And the consumption, let's say this board was produced. This board was produced in Japan, but we are consuming it now in Sri Lanka. How it can be possible? It can be possible with distribution or exchange. So the second one is exchange or distribution. Exchange or distribution. Let me clarify it again. There's a production in somewhere of the world, right? And consumption is everywhere of the world, because the consumers are everywhere. Since consumption production and this produced goods cannot be consumed without exchange them or distribute them. So here, the first one is production. Second one is exchange or distribution. Distribution. Right? So the third one is consumption. The order can be changed, right? In here, I was mentioned first one is consumption and second one is exchange. Third one is production. But when it comes to like proper order, production should be at the initial stage, and then exchange should be there. So the thirdly, consumption, right? So that is what we identified as human economic behavior, main three aspects. Human economic behavior can be explained further, but initially the main three aspects of or main human economic activities are production, exchange, and consumption, right? Okay, now we know what is scope. Still, we have to study wealth. We'll discuss it later, but still, up to now, you can keep in mind it as just the wealth, the all the assets that we own, right? In Sinhala, we call Dhanaya. Human economic behavior. That means මිනිසුන්ගේ ආර්ථික ක්‍රියාකාරකම්, right? So this economic behavior can be categorized into three main aspects: production, exchange, and consumption. And what is scarcity? This is the fundamental economic problems. This is why economics is there. What is it? Scarcity means still you can keep in mind in it as what? Limitation of resources. I told you. Limitation of resources. That means we don't have unlimited supply of resources. The resources are very limited, right? We call it in Sinhala, Sampat Simitai. Resources are limited. With that, scarcity will arise. So now you have clear idea about scope of economics. What is it? Wealth. We are going to study about wealth in future. And we are going to study about human economic behavior in future. What does mean human economic behavior again? Mainly three economic activities. First one, production. Second one, exchange or distribution. And third one, as proud consumers, we know that. What is it? Consumption, right? And scarcity. What does mean scarcity? That is the limitation of productive resources, right? Now you know what you guys are going to study. Without scope, you can't study about economics because you don't know what you are going to study in near future. So this is the scope, right? Next one. What is economics? Now, what is economics? Economics mainly, economics is the study of, now we know, right? We know economics is the study of scarcity and choice, right? So if you want to keep a definition short and sweet, right? Here's the short and sweet definition. Economics is the study of scarcity and choice. That scarcity means limitation of resources with compared to unlimited human wants. We'll discuss it later. Up to now, it is the limitation of resources, right? So here choice. Choice means that we all have to make a choice, right? From the birth until you die, everything is a choice, right? Initially, you have to pick a what? Good mother and father, right? That's a choice. And then actually that is a choice, but can't control to us, right? And when it comes to you have to choose a school, and you have to choose few subjects. When it comes to O-level basket subjects, you have to choose them. And again, when it comes to advanced level, you have to choose the stream that you are going to study. What unknown path decide karna, choose karna. So everything is a choice, right? ඔයාලා කවදා හරි life partner කෙනෙක් දැන්ටමත් choice එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ ගැන ඕක බඳින්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? ඒ හින්දා ඒක අතහැරලා දාන්න. Still, but in near future you have to pick a life partner after your academic studies, right? So wait until that moment, don't be hurry. And in near future you have to choose whether you are going to further after academic or whatever the qualifications, whether you are going to further study or you are going to apply a job. There are so many choices in our life. So in economics as well, it is the study of scarcity and choice, right? So I think this is enough for the introduction, right? We'll go to the note. If you don't have tunes, please send me a message. I'll add you to the group and deliver all the tutorials for you guys, right? But up to now, some of you guys, the students at Sakya and Sepal, they have the tutorials, so they can revise them again, right? If there is any changes, you can write in your writing book or in the tutorial. Okay. Here we go. Right. Introduction to Economics, 2025 Advanced Level Theory. I need some water. It's a water break. Right. Then, the scope of the economics: study of wealth, human behavior, and scarce resources. So here, human behavior is related to not all the human behavior. It is specifically human economic behavior. We'll mention it later. Right. So here, 3 aspects again related to scope of economics: wealth, human behavior, and scarce resources. Right. Since that deals with production, exchange, and consumption of various goods and services in economic system. So it is a science. So what is economics? There is a small definition for economics. What is it? It is a science that deals with production, exchange, and consumption of various goods and services in economic system, right? So this is a kind of idea for the economics. We'll give a proper definition later, right? So this is a science that deal with production, exchange, and consumption of various goods and services in economic system. It's a science, right? It's not an art, right? It's not an art, it's a science. In economics, we focus, the central focus problem is scarcity. Scarcity of resources and choice among the alternatives. choice among their alternatives. THGIR. Right? So again, I'll give a brief idea about scope, right? Scope in economics. In economics, we study about wealth, human economic behavior, and scarce resources. So economics is a science that deal with production, exchange, and consumption of various goods and services in a in economic system, in an economic system. Right? Here we centrally focused about scarcity, right? Scarcity and choice mainly. You have to keep them in mind, right? Otherwise, without scarcity, actually economics will not exist. So here, central focus areas are scarcity of the resources and choices among their alternatives, right? Then, what is economics? Now, this is the proper definition of economics. Previously, we studied about the scope. Now it's come to what is economic, the proper definition. Economics is the study of human behavior in relation to the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. That's not the end. In the attempt of or related to satisfying unlimited human wants with limited resources. What does that mean? That means in economics, we try to satisfy our unlimited human wants, right? Because human wants are not limited. Our wants can be regenerated again and again. It's happening continuously. So we call it unlimited human wants with limited resources. What does mean limited resources? I told you it was the scarcity, right? So here, scarcity means satisfying unlimited human wants with limited resources. That is the scarcity. Still, you can keep it in mind as limitation of resources. Then again, what is economics? Is the study of human behavior in relation to the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services related to or in the attempt of satisfying unlimited human wants with limited resources. That means in the attempt of scarcity, right? So that's why we can identify a proper definition, a simple definition. The simple definition is called economics is the study of scarcity and choice. The simplest definition ever is study of scarcity and choice. In some economists identify economics is a science of scarcity and choice, right? So now we know what is economics means. And then There are four important points. First one, economics is a science. Why we call economics is a science? Because it is the study of human behavior with related to scientific manner. In economics, we use scientific methods to study economics. So it is not random thing. එහෙම මෙහෙන් Tamanට කැමති විදියට decisions ගන්න නැහැ. There's a process. That process we call scientific method. Right? In economics, we use scientific methodologies. So that's why economics is a science. We'll discuss it later. And second important point is, it is not a natural science. It is a social science. Why it is called a social science? Because we study about human behavior. That's why it is a social science, right? So first one was economics is a science. Why? Because we use scientific methods to develop economic theories. And second one is it's a social science. Social science means in every social science, it study about human behavior. In economics also we study human behavior. It satisfies most of the physical human wants. Actually, in economics, we do not concern about mental wants, right? Because mental human wants are considered in some other subjects. In economics, we focus on physical human wants. Keep in mind, right? Because that could be a MCQ question. So here, only the physical human wants. And then, maximum benefits of productive resources. That means, actually, you can rewrite it as, in economics, people try to maximize self-interest. Maximize self-interest. That's the thing, right? In economics, people try to maximize their self-interest. That's what we call maximum benefits of productive resources. People are trying to get maximum benefit throughout the productive resources, right? So again, what does economics mean? It is the study of scarcity and choice. That's the simplest, short and sweet answer for what is economics. Tell me it again. The study of scarcity and choice. Keep it in mind, because if you can't remember this lengthy definition, you can still write it down and it is acceptable. The study of scarcity and choice. අවුලක් නැහැ. කැමති definition එකක් ලියන්න. ඒ උනාට try එකක් දෙන්න මේ definition එක මතක තියාගන්න. But still, if you can't remember that definition, you can go for, it is the study of scarcity and choice. And the proper definition. Economics is the study of human behavior in relation to main economic activities. What are the main economic activities? Production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services in the attempt of satisfying unlimited human wants with limited resources. Right? Again, tell me the definition. Economics is the study of human behavior in relation to the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services in the attempt of satisfying unlimited human wants with limited resources in the society, right? Now we know what does economics mean, right? And what are the four important things? These are not kind of specifically given, but still I understand here economics is a science, it's a social science, and it satisfies most physical human wants, and it gives maximum benefit of productive resources, right? I think you understood them. Then again, what is economics? There are some definitions given by popular economist. Adam Smith is the father of modern economics, right? He is the father of modern economics. Economics is the study of wealth. According to the Adam Smith, the economics is the study of wealth. Can you remember the wealth was mentioned in scope of the economics, right? Then next one. Second definition is by Alfred Marshall. It's a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. This is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life, right? That's about the definition of Alfred Marshall. Next one. It is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scare means which have alternative uses. The definition given by Lionel Robbins, right? So that is about popular definitions, right, by popular economists. Then again, we'll revise everything. Right. What is the scope of the economics? Study of wealth, human economic behavior, and scarce resources. Science, actually economics is a science that deals with production, exchange, and consumption of various goods and services in economic system. In here, we centrally focus about two main things. First one is scarcity, and second one is choice. So scarcity of resources and choice among their alternatives, right? That's about the scope. Next one, what is economics? It is the study of scarcity and choice. Lengthy definition. Economics is a study of human behavior in relation to the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. If you want, you can end it in here, right? Goods and services with the scarcity, right? Study of human behavior in relation to the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services with the scarcity. Or you can explain it further in the attempt of satisfying unlimited human wants with limited resources, right? Then there were four important things in economics. First one, economics is a science. Why? Because we use scientific methodologies, scientific methods to develop economics theories and to understand about the economics. Second one, it is a social science. Why it's called social science? Because in economics, we identify human behavior. We study about human behavior, not the natural facts, not about the flowers, not about the human body. It's not about the natural things. It's about how people are behave in when they satisfying human economic needs. Then that's why it is a social science. Next one, it satisfies most of physical human wants. In economics, we do not concern about mental human wants. In economics, we only concern about physical human wants, such as hunger and thirst, and there are so many wants. Next one, in economics, people try to maximize their benefits throughout production resources. That means maximize self-interest, right? I think you got it. Next one. What is economics? By Adam Smith. According to Adam Smith, economics is the study of wealth. According to Alfred Marshall, it is a study of mankind in the ordinary business life. According to Lionel Robbins, the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Right? Then, understanding key terms are in the definition of economics. I told you there were 4 key terms in economics. First one, economics is a science. Now you know why we call economics is a science. Because we use scientific methodologies to understand economic theories. Science is an organized and sequential exploration about the actual world happenings. Science uses scientific methodology as its exploration method, right? ළමයි science එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ scientific method එකක් use කරන ඕනම subject එකක්, right? That what mentioned in here. Scientific methodologies conducting. What are the scientific methodologies? We'll see. Conducting experiments, observing consequences, and then arriving at a conclusion. අපිට ආවට ගියාට random conclusion එකකට එන්න බෑ. කාසියක් උඩ දාලා conclusion එකකට එන්නේ නැහැ. It's not a subject with random opinions, right? It have a scientific background. There's a experiments that we conduct, and there are observing consequences, then arriving at a conclusion, right? That's what scientific methodology means. Then, if any subject use scientific methodology to study or to come a conclusion or to develop theories, we call it is a science. We'll see. Any subject that use scientific methodology as its exploration method to understand actual world and its happenings can be considered as a science. Then tell me what is a science? Science means any subjects which use scientific methods as their observing or exploring method, right? We'll see. Any subject that use scientific methodology, any subject that use scientific methodology as its exploration method to understand actual world and its happenings can be considered as a science. any subject which use scientific methodology is a science. Then finally, economics uses scientific methodologies to understand actual world and its activities. Actually, Lamai, keep in mind, in economics, we come to conclusions, we develop theories, and we study it through a scientific manner. And that's why we call economics is a science. Here you go. Economics uses scientific methodology to understand actual world and its happenings, activities. Therefore, economics is a science, right? Everything have an explanation, right? So what is a science? Any subjects that use scientific methodology is a science. And then why economics called as a science? Because in economics, we use scientific methodology to come a conclusion, to develop economic theories, to study about economics. Then economics is a science. Second one. It's not just a science, it is a social science. Why we call it as a social science? Because social science means any subject that study about human behavior, right? So here, any subject which study human behavior is a social science. Right? So any subject which use scientific methodology is a science. Right? Got it? Any subject that use scientific methodology is a science. Any subject which use human behavior is a any subject which studies human behavior is a social science. Let me clear it again. We'll go to the notepad and here. Right, again. Any subject which use scientific methodology to study or develop theories. Develop theories is what? Is science. Right? Then any subject which study human behavior in a scientific manner or with scientific methodology in a scientific manner. We call what kind of science? It is a social science. A social science. Then in economics, we do both of these. First one, we use scientific methodology to develop economic theories. And the second one, in economics, we study about human economic behavior. And then economics should be a science, not just a science. It is a social science, right? I think now you have a clear idea why economics call a science and why economics call a social science, right? All science can be subdivided into two main categories. First one, natural science. But still we have to study. What is a natural science? Science that study rules that govern the natural world through scientific methods, right? Science that study rules that govern the natural world. Actually, in natural science, we study about natural world through scientific method, right? So biology or bioscience, physics, chemistry, those are the subjects we call natural science, because in those categories, in those science or subjects, it has focus about natural world, the facts that related to natural world. But that's not the thing we need to concern. We need to concern about this. It is social science. The social science are the science those logically studies about the society and behavior of the people. That's what related to us. That's what related to economics. Why? Because we studied economics as social or human behavior related to human economic behavior. What were main three economic activities? Can you remember it again? Right? Can you repeat it again? What was first one? I can't remember. Can you help me to recall it? Production, consumption, and exchange or distribution, right? So in the social science means social sciences are science those logically study about the society and behavior of people. Economics, political science, psychology, all these subjects are study about human behavior, right? And then that's an important line, so read it. Since economics also logically studies social and human behavior, comma, economics is also considered as a social science. Economics study how people deal with problem of scarcity and how they make choices. And this is also very important. Economics study how people deal with problem of scarcity and how they make choice. So another definition for economics. What is it? Study how people deal with problem of scarcity and how they make their choices. Right? So according to this, economics is a social science. Why? Since economics also logically study social and human behavior of the people, then economics is a social science, right? I think now you got it, right? Previously, if there were any doubt in your mind, now it has solved. Next one. How economics differ from any other social science? How economics differ from other social science? First one. Before that, what is a social science? Social science is a science which, a subject which study about human behavior, right? A science which study about human behavior is a, a social science, right? Human behavior. So human behavior can be few aspects. Human criminal behavior, right? There can be human behavior can be criminal behavior. Or mental behavior, mentality. Or they are political behavior. Or economic behavior. Or there can be, well, that's it, right? So human behavior can be categorized to so many aspects. For the criminal side of people, there's a subject what we call it criminology. Criminology. For the mentality of the people, mental conditions, study through mentology. No. What we call psychology. Right? Psychology. And political behavior, study through politicology. No, it is political science. Political science. Then economic behavior is studied with under economicology. No, it is economics, right? Economics. Then this is the thing what we want, right? This is how economics can be different from other social science, right? We'll read. Other social science study about various aspects of social and human behavior. However, economics is the only study how to satisfy physical human wants with production, distribution of goods and services, right? So economics is the only subject which study about human economic behavior. Economics is the only subject which study about human economic behavior. That's why we call economics can be different from other social sciences. That's simple as it is. Don't get complicated, right? It is easy. Economics is easy, but you have to study from the best teacher. That's the thing, right? So here, next one. Thus, economics only concentrate about areas such as production, distribution, consumption, savings, and investments. So all these words related to what? Human economic behavior. So this economics only concentrate about areas such as production, distribution, consumption, savings, and investment. That means it is only concerned about human economic behavior. That's how economic can be different from other social science. Next one. Understanding key terms in the definition of economics, though we have studied 3 of them. Final, one last one. How economics differs from natural science, right? Why we call it a science? Under that, first one, how economics differ from other social science, and how economics differ from natural sciences. Natural science can conduct their experiments in a controlled setup. What does mean controlled setup? ළමයි controlled setup mean laboratory. Lab එකක් තියෙන. Lab එකක් ඇතුලේ economics perform කරන්න බෑනේ. Right? We can't perform economics in a lab. Why? Because that's a controlled setup. All the natural sciences that they can develop their theories with in a controlled setup. But economics, no. We can't do that. Right? Example, in the experiment of photosynthesis, controlling factors such as sunlight, humidity, chemistry, sunlight and humidity, and chemistry, physics are 2 separate subjects, right? Natural science mean there's example, chemistry, physics, that you can put it in here. Second and third example. This is the first example. Right. So first example is in the experiment of photosynthesis. That means ප්‍රභා සංශ්ලේෂණයේදී අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? මතකද පොඩි කාලේ ප්‍රභා සංශ්ලේෂණය ඉගෙන ගන්නදී පොල් කට්ටකින් ගිහිල්ලා තනකොළ ටිකක් වහලා තියලා බැලුවා. sunlight කියන variable එක control කරලා sunlight එක කියන්නේ හිරු එළිය ඕනේද නැද්ද? මේ ප්‍රභා සංශ්ලේෂණ නැත්නම් photosynthesis process එකට ප්‍රභා සංශ්ලේෂණ ක්‍රියාවලියට sunlight එක ඕනේද නැද්ද කියලා බලන්න ගිහිල්ලා පොල් කට්ටක් තියලා වැහුවා බැලුවා පැල ටික මැරෙනවා පොල් කට්ටෙන් වැහුවම තනකොළ ටික මැරෙනවා නම් ඒකට අපි කියනවා අපි එනවා conclusion එකට the sunshine or sunlight is a mandatory aspect mandatory for photosynthesis. we can come to a conclusion with controlling other variables in a controlled setup. Lab එක ගුණත් ඒක බලන්න පුළුවන්. Right? But however, and chemistry, physics, those are also natural science. However, in economics, icon වල ඒවා කරන්න බෑ. Economics වල you can't perform the things, the theories in a controlled setup in economics. Why? We study about human behavior. Human behavior cannot be controlled in a controlled setup. It's a kind of practical situation, real world situation, right? However, in economics cannot be conducted in controlled setup. So that's how the first point, how economics differ from natural science. So that's the first one. Second one. This is the main difference between economics and not the second one, it was mentioned. This is the main difference between economics and social science. What? Natural science can be performed in a controlled setup, but economic theories cannot be performed in a controlled setup. Following points also can be considered as a difference between natural science and economics. What are those? First one. Economics only explore economic behavior of people. In economics, it explores economic behavior of people. But in natural science, it focuses about natural environment. Right? Second one. Economic theories cannot be performed in a scientific lab. Economic theories science lab එකක් ඇතුලේ perform කරන්න බෑ. But natural science theories can be performed. Most of their theories were developed in a lab. Right? Next one. Economic theories can get changed based on time, geography, and culture, etc. So economics theories can be changed. Those are not universal theories. මුළු ලෝකෙටම එක ලෙස අදාළ theories නෑ මෙතන. Right? Economics theories can be changed based on culture, based on time, and based on geography, whatever the external conditions, it can be changed. But natural science, those are we call universal theories. ලෝකෙටම එක ලෙස අදාළ. අපි ගත්තොත් අපේ පිනහලු lungs වැඩ කරන විදිය හැම මිනිස්සයාගේම එක වගේ තමයි. ඒක තැන අනුව වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ගත්තොත් මොකක් හරි ඇටම් එකක් ඒ වගේ මොකක් හරි chemistry හරි physics වලට අදාළ මොකක් හරි දෙයක් ගත්තොත් ඒක හැම තැනටම ඒ වගේ තමයි. ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. But economics, it can be changed. In some circumstance, when price increases, quantity demand will decrease. In most of circumstance, අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් usual life එකේදී price එක වැඩි වුණොත් demand එක අඩු කරනවා, quantity demand එක. But when it comes to some specific theories we study, there are some theories when price increase, quantity demand increase. අපි price එක වැඩි වුණොත් සමහර වෙලාවට ගන්න quantity එක වැඩි, ඒ කියන්නේ quantity එක වැඩි කරන අවස්ථා තියෙනවා නැත්තේ නෑ. Right? So there are that the economic theories can be changed. There are no any universal theories, right? So that's how economic differ from natural science. What the first one? What's the first one? Natural science can conduct their experiments in controlled setup. Economics cannot be controlled in a controlled setup. Economics only explore economic behavior. Natural science explore about natural environment or in natural facts. Economics theories cannot be proved in a scientific lab. Most of natural science can be proved in a scientific lab. Economic theories can be changed with the occasion, but natural science, those are universal theories, right? So it's a homework for you guys, right? Identify the difference between natural science and economics, right? Identify the difference between natural science and economics. So you have to divide the page. In one side, natural science, and the other side, economics. I'll help. In natural science, can be performed in a, can conduct their experiment in a controlled environment, can conduct experiments in a controlled environment. Economics cannot do that. Cannot conduct experiments in a controlled environment. Next one. Economics only explore economic behavior. Here, economics, economic behavior. Explore economic behavior or study about economic behavior. In here, study about natural environment or natural facts. Third one, economic theories cannot be proved in a scientific lab. Here, natural science can be proved in a lab. Here, economics, it cannot be done. So cannot be proved in a scientific lab. Last one, economic theories can get changed based on the occasion. Can be changed based on the occasion. Here, those are universal theories. Natural, the science, that means natural science are universal theories, right? So homework done by me, but you have to write them properly. I was like mentioned in a short form. Then last but not least, importance of studying economics. First one, to become a successful citizen in a society, in the society, right? With the study of economics, we can become a successful citizen in the society, because we need to study economics. Otherwise, you can be rational, you can be more logical when it comes to human economic behavior? Aren't you perform them? Aren't all of us perform economic activities? We all consume. We all working or doing production activities. Maybe working in a production company, or you have an ownership in production company. It doesn't matter. Still you engage in production. So to become a successful citizen in the society, you need obviously you need economics. Next one, helps to design effective public policies. When it comes to government, the government policies should be effective. Then those policies should be monitored by economic aspect, right? In government, there are so many economists who develop government policies, right? In present, all the fiscal policy, monetary policy was developed by economists, maybe Central Bank of Sri Lanka, related to monetary policy and fiscal policy. Still you don't know about those things. We'll study them later. So still you have to keep in mind economic policies. When it comes to government economic policies, they need economics. The ideas of economists have a significant impact on the society, and when controlling a country, economics is very important. When it comes to controlling a country, economics is very important. Why? Because you can evidence that there were a president. අපි හිතන් හිටියේ ගෙනාව නිකන් සිංහෙක් වගේ පොරක් කියලා හිතාගෙන සුපිරි වැඩෙක් තමයි ඉකෝන් ගැන දන්නවා ඇති පොලිටිකල්ස් එම් හොඳට දන්නවා ඇති කියලා ආවා ඊට පස්සේ අන්තිමට ඉකොනොමි එක කෙලින් අප්සයිඩ් ඩවුන් ගියා රයිට් මතකද කවුද කියලා ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරේ ඉකොනොමිකලි ඉම්පැක්ට් උනායින් පස්සේ ඔක්කොම ටික එළියට බහැලා ඒ කෙනාව එලවලම දැම්ම රටින්ම එලෙව්වා ඇයි because he didn't have proper knowledge about economics, right? Can you remember that incident? I'm not going to mention it, but still we know the situation. That president was unaware about economic policies. He doesn't have any economics knowledge. I don't know whether he has any kind of knowledge, but still I can assure that he didn't have any economic knowledge. Then without economic knowledge, a president cannot conduct or control a country, right? Or conduct any policies. Next one, enable good citizenship as voters can act intelligently by evaluating economic policies. අනේ ළමයිනේ ඕක නම් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම කරන්න. මොකද්ද? Before you give your vote for any kind of election, please think about economic policies. What are the economic policies that implemented by them? Otherwise, don't give your vote, because you need a good idea about economic policies about the implemented by that particular government before voting them. Next one, important to find a good job. Economics is important to find a good job. When it comes to select a job, proper job, you need economics knowledge. If you have economics knowledge, then easily you can find out a job. Next one, helps to develop analytical skills and rational thinking of students. As students, that you guys need economics. Why? to develop analytical skills in your mind and also rational thinking of the student. Right, that's it, right? So this is only for the first day, right? Now about the classes. Right, so if you want to join my classes, English medium classes are conducting in Pannipitiya Sepala. Sepala Pannipitiya and Sakya Nugegoda. And today we started online island wine. Right, so if you want to join any of this class, you can message me through WhatsApp 07159874441. Right, so I'm going to cover whole syllabus in this online class, and also at Sakya Sepala you can join if you want to see me physical, right? Anyway, all the 3 classes would be effective as same, so no need to worry about that. Then we'll wind up the session. If you want anything, right, please, anything related to subject, right? Subject mean not the other subject, it's about economics. You can send me a WhatsApp message 07159874441. Then we studied about economics, and what was the economic scope? Wealth and scarcity and also human behavior. And what was economics? The definition: it is the study about scarcity and choice. And why economics is a science? Because it uses scientific methods to develop theories. Then why economics is a social science? Because in economics it study about human economic behavior, human behavior in a scientific manner. That's why we call economics is a social science. And why economics is important? Because of to become a rational person, rational thinking and analytical skills, to find a good job and to control a country. That's how the economy can be important. Right, then see you guys next week. Until then, have a good week. Have a Christmas is also coming. So before the Christmas, we are going to meet again. So until then, goodbye. Have a nice day.